first episode of Talk of The Terrace, a brand new podcast where myself, Andy,
Morgan,
Jake,
and Dan
talk about everything and anything about football. Now, to get things out of the way first, myself and Dan are both United fans, which is brilliant. Morgan is...
I am a Liverpool fan, unfortunately.
And Jake is...
I'm a Tottenham fan.
Unlucky for some. To kick things off and give you a general idea of sort of where our football is and our favourite players maybe of all time, we have our all-time 4-4-2 formation of our starting 11. Now, there are a couple of rules to this. It has to be the 4-4-2 formation, and it has to be with players within our lifetime. Now, I'm going to go first. I'm just going to read off my starting 11 sheet, and the other three are going to ask me questions about it as to why I've picked whoever. So, in goal, I have Edwin van der Sar. Right back, I have Gary Neville. Left back, I have Roberto Carlos. And my two centre-backs are Vidic and Puyol. Right mid, I have David Beckham. Left mid, I have Lionel Messi. My two centre-mids are Paul Scholes and Frank Lampard. And my two strikers are Cristiano Ronaldo and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Now, does anyone have any questions?
any reason for Van der Sar?
Van der Sar, well, as I've mentioned before, I am a United fan. Watching him save those penalties in the 2008 Champions League final against Chelsea was unreal. For someone at his age, to be able to prance around the goal like that was, I found...
I can tell you're a United fan.
How can you tell I'm a United fan, Joe?
Well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh, hold on. No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ex-United footballers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's
No, there's 7. There's 7.
7? Yeah, I miscounted.
Nice, Jake.
Anyway,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's a cracking team.
I think it's a cracking team because it is my personal decision. Obviously, you've got to have Ronaldo and Messi in there because it's Ronaldo and Messi, like they are the two best players in the world at the moment. For Van der Sar and Vidic, I just love both of them. So it's I have to have them in my team.
Vidic was a quality player back in the day.
He wasn't bad, was he?
He did get turned over by Torres.
He did. Torres absolutely ripped him to shreds. What
He
a
wasn't his
fine athlete
favourite.
that was.
He was his bogey striker.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Scholes in the middle.
He can't run with goals in the
No.
if apart from if you're playing for England, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And having David Beckham.
Gary Neville at right back.
I think honourable mention to Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Fox in
the box.
Yeah. I think he'll be in a few other teams.
I hope he is.
Possibly.
Morgan, what about your starting 11?
I've gone for Buffon in goals, Dani Alves right back, Jamie Carragher and Puyol centre halves, John Onorisa left back, Gerrard and Kaká in the middle, Ronaldo on the right, Vieira on the left, Torres and Messi up front. Then finished off the team.
Well.
Again, we can tell you're a Liverpool fan. I mean, not as many as Andy, obviously, but
talk me through
John Onorisa at left.
Yeah.
Oh, his left peg is the stuff of dreams. Unbelievable. An absolute hammer. And what better left back is there?
Carlos.
Nah, he's just a shy John Onorisa.
Poor man's John Onorisa.
What about David Villa? I'm interested by that.
Especially
position.
in that position.
Yeah.
He did play on the left of the three quite a bit for Barca, so I sort of counted him as a winger. I've cheated a little bit there.
Yeah,
but that's the trouble with the formation.
Yeah, but I think I did need to definitely get him in the team one way or another.
I think we're well aware in England in Britain that 4-4-2 is massively outdated.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Torres up front.
Torres, another hero.
Yeah.
So he can destroy my village.
Best Liverpool striker? Your favourite Liverpool striker?
Probably my favourite. Yeah.
Your favourite.
Who do you think was better at Liverpool, Torres or Suarez? Suarez.
So how come you didn't pick Suarez?
He's a bit of a bastard.
Love the nibble.
Jake?
Alright, for me, I've got Iker Casillas in goal, Patrice Evra left back, Maldini centre back, Cannavaro centre back, Dani Alves right back, and then in the middle I've got Zidane and Seedorf. On the right, Beckham. On the left, Messi. And then up top, I've got Ronaldo and Henry.
As much as it pains me to say, I do agree with having Henry up front.
It must be harder for you to select him.
Oh, exactly. As much as it pains me to say, you just got really to admire him. The way that he was so superb at Arsenal, and he returned as well, and he played just as well. Got in that team, and
the goal against Leeds in the FA Cup or League
I
Cup?
think so. Yeah, but yeah, he's a great player.
Talk me through Evra at left back.
Evra again, I think it kind of links in with what I've got to say with Evra at left back. Then you'd have Vidic at centre back, Gary Neville at right back, Ferdinand as well there. I think it's possibly one of the best, if not the best, defensive lineup I've seen in the Premier League.
In its prime,
that was the golden
between
days, really.
06 and 09, it was unstoppable.
It was especially having Ferguson as a manager as well.
And it was especially sort of those years that at my age I just started getting into football.
Yeah.
Really beginning to collect the match attacks and the stickers and.
Well, it was on the basis of that back four that United, in 08 won a treble. I mean, it wasn't the traditional treble because obviously won the League Cup, but League, Champions League, and League Cup.
It was a good year to be a United fan.
With Van der Sar in goal actually as well.
Yes, exactly.
So,
So Danny, talk us
my all-time 11: Peter Schmeichel in goal, Gary Neville right back, Carlos Puyol and Fabio Cannavaro centre backs, Paolo Maldini left back, Ronaldo, that's Cristiano, on the right, Scholes and Zidane in the middle, Lionel Messi on the left, with Rue van Nistelrooy and Thierry Henry up top.
Another Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Again, at United, he was on fire.
He was very.
He was the epitome of fox in the box. He was always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Having obviously you've got both Ronaldo and Messi there. Everyone's got Ronaldo and Messi.
You can't leave them out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as much as I almost want to, but you can't not put them in the team, especially if it's within our lifetime. We've been gifted with these two players.
The whole debate of who's better, Messi or Ronaldo, shouldn't really exist because we should just appreciate both of them.
Yeah.
And be lucky that we have them at exactly the same time. Think through history. When have we ever had two world-class players at the same time battling it out?
Yeah.
John Reese from Carrigan. Anything else you want to add, Dan?
No.
Through,
well, unless there's anyone you want to question.
Paul Scholes.
Yeah, I mean, Scott in his latter years, Scholes obviously dropped a lot deeper, but obviously I've picked him because when he started his career, he was an attacking mid. He was like a shadow striker, and he was unstoppable then. He grabbed quite a lot of goals, surprisingly, and also just the rockets that he used to ping in. The one against Barcelona in the semi-final, actually, 08. That was absolutely worldy.
And just the pings from a corner, just bang.
The one against Villa, there was one against Bradford as well.
Oh, God.
There was some worldies.
It could be all day.
Yeah.
So all of our squads are going to be up on our Twitter, which is @TOT Terrace. And there's going to be a poll whose team you think is going to be the best. Obviously, it's going to be mine, so that'll be option one. We're going to do feel free to leave a comment as well and say
players we've missed out,
if we've missed anyone.
Because obviously, of course, this formation does restrict you on who you can pick.
Or
so there is
even
a lot of players.
Even show us your whole squad.
Yeah, there is a lot of players we've missed out. It is try it yourself.
I mean, there's so many honourable mentions that we could bring into it. Ronaldinho.
Ronaldo, that's just the Brazilians.
Yeah, exactly. It could go on.
All day. But do feel free to leave a comment or leave your starting 11 in there, and we'll take a look at that. Moving on now, we're going to look at
Start with the Premier League.
We'll look at the Premier League, and obviously the big game on the weekend just gone was Arsenal v Chelsea, and Chelsea just showed their dominance really, and how they are favourite to win the league this year. Just completely destroying Arsenal.
They had Arsenal's number.
Yeah.
They did. Hazard's goal stands out, just flicking Coquelin on the floor like he wasn't there.
I said it the other day, I don't think it's as good as everybody's making out. It's a good goal, take nothing away from the guy. Take nothing away from the guy, but I think Arsenal gave him a leg up.
Yeah, I think
a massive leg up.
It could have been defended better.
It could have been defended a lot better.
But take nothing away.
Take nothing away from the guy.
If Messi,
he still had to carry the ball and put it in the back.
If
of the
Messi did it, everybody would be talking about it for a lot longer.
Speaking of defending, do you think that first goal should have stood? Better in getting
me personally, yes. I think
It's a 50-50, better in his static.
There's been a lot of talk about the elbow. I think Alonso's come in with a lot of momentum.
He is.
It's like you said, it's a 50-50. You said the other day it's a 50-50. He's entitled to go for the ball. It's 4 or 5 yards from goal. He's more than entitled to go for that. It's a goal scoring opportunity.
The reason that it did go bad, or look bad, was because Bellerin was, he jumped but was static when he jumped. We had Alonso coming in at pace, and it wasn't.
The momentum's just gone through.
Alonso didn't necessarily do anything wrong in the challenge.
His eyes were on the ball.
Exactly, and he had every right to go for it. It was just.
I mean, how else are you meant to jump as well? I mean,
And if he did go for that, I'm pretty sure Conte would have gone.
You naturally use your arms to jump.
So. Stick it in if you hadn't competed for that header.
Yeah.
With an open goal, pretty much an open goal, he would have gone mad.
It set Chelsea on their way, though.
It did set Chelsea on their way. Ozil has been hounded this weekend and these first early days of this week of not showing enough effort. Sanchez also as well, but
I think it's unfair when he gets questioned about his effort because he's never been a player that puts in shows a lot of intent or effort when he's on the pitch, but he's not a player that you expect to be running around chasing the ball anyway. You want him in the places, the space in the pitch that when you get the ball back, you feed him and he creates your attack.
Well, it's what the Arsenal fans are complaining about is the price tag and watching him just jog around the pitch as Matic or Kante just goes through. And
I've noticed it over the last month or so now. I mean, watching Matt.
He didn't have a lot around him, did he?
No, he just stands and watches players
he just
walk past him.
He doesn't look like he's enjoying himself that much.
No.
Sanchez, you can tell Sanchez is frustrated.
Sanchez is fuming.
Do you think it's a lack of passion for the club he's at?
Ozil?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
He's a quiet character.
He is a very sort of
reserved
player, and I feel like if he did have a problem with the Arsenal fans, I don't think he would say.
He wouldn't air it.
He wouldn't air it at all. It'd just be. Whether he'll stay in the summer, if Arsenal season do.
Where could you see him going if he did move in the summer?
Germany.
Bayern.
Probably Bayern, I think.
I saw. I think it was yesterday. I saw apparently. PSG could be an option for it.
Yeah, PSG.
PSG are always an option.
Yeah.
Players that are sort of running out of time. Obviously, Arsene Wenger was sent in the stands. I can't knock Conte for his just enthusiasm on the touchline. When Hazard's goal went in, he shoved Stewart out of the way and just dived in for the crowd.
Yeah.
I feel like Arsenal are missing somebody like that on the touchline. But obviously, Wenger couldn't do anything because he was in.
Diego Simeone. Quite similar to Conte.
Yeah.
In his animation on the touchline.
Yeah.
Managerial styles are a bit different.
I just think that maybe Wenger's
he's been linked before with Arsenal. Could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Wenger, surely you'd imagine Wenger's not going to last more than another 2 seasons. So.
No, surely not. He's been there achieving the same thing for far too long.
Just Champions League.
I think it is unfair of these Arsenal fans to be jumping on his back. I mean,
everything he's done for them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm sure they're well aware.
It is quite fickle because I do remember in October that there's a few interviews with Arsenal fans and they were saying, we're going to win the league.
Is
Wenger.
this Arsenal fan TV, bro?
It could be, but
everyone knows about that.
Yeah, let's not stick on that subject, hey. But
I think Neville's covered that one.
Yeah, we'll leave that to Gary.
Yeah.
Well, another 3 points for Chelsea, another loss for Arsenal.
Quick mention for Fabregas lobbing Petr Cech.
Yes.
Petr Cech gifted it to him.
Petr Cech's gave it to him.
Yeah. I mean, that's a sentence that Arsenal fans would have loved to have been saying in years gone by.
Yeah.
Fabregas lobbing Petr Cech.
Yeah.
But it's on the other foot this time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Chelsea go 9 points clear and 12 points clear off Arsenal. Are Arsenal out of the title
Yes.
race?
Again, were they ever really in it?
No, I wouldn't have.
I mean,
Arsenal fan TV
with the midfield that they fielded again, with the midfield that they fielded in that game, you can't be competing for the title when you're playing a midfield of Coquelin. Well, bearing in mind Coquelin, obviously he's in a defensive position. Oxlade-Chamberlain alongside him. Is Oxlade-Chamberlain a deep line midfielder? He's not. He's a winger.
No.
Young lad Iwobi, he's got promise. And then you've got Walcott on the wing. Sanchez was wasted up top, and then you're basically relying there on Ozil and Sanchez to take the game by the scruff of the neck. And Ozil's not that sort of player. Sanchez possibly could if he wasn't up front.
Yeah, I think that's a fair show. I think he was in the wrong position. He didn't look as sharp there. As
he was marked out of the game.
Yeah.
By the Chelsea.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second game of the weekend, Everton Bournemouth.
The blockbuster.
A very, very nice game there. Full of goals. 6-3 to Everton. Lukaku getting 4. Everton. Why don't you do this every week? Just, you have the team.
Well, you say that they did concede 3.
Yeah.
So.
6. And well,
I mean, in the second half, well, the first half of the second half, Bournemouth were all over them. I mean, at one point it was 3-2, and Bournemouth looked like they were going to go on and get that equaliser.
They did.
They did.
What about Barkley? Very the last minute.
Yeah.
He's gone
It's
round
out of
keeper
order.
and he's already celebrated.
No, it's not on, is it? It shows how immature he is, and he's not ready for anything big yet. And
it wasn't as if it was an important goal in the game. It wasn't if it was a 90th minute winner or a late equaliser.
I mean, he has no reason to even possibly celebrate anyway, let alone before you've even put it in the net.
It's not even a big game. It's not as even if they're playing anyone
but you see
of any importance.
You see players scoring in the last minute to win 2-1 or 1-0, diving in the crowd, getting a booking. What should Barkley possibly keep getting a booking for what he's doing?
I think he should have.
The mick really, and just.
Well, that's it. It's
just
sportsman.
I would put
conduct.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, players get yellow cards for. I'm sure everyone's done it at Sunday League level, where you stop the ball on the line, get it on your hands and knees, and nod it over the line. That's a yellow card for unsportsmanlike behaviour. Is that any different?
Well, it's not.
He's there celebrating before he's actually scored.
And he's in front of all those little kids as well. They could be doing that in Sunday League, celebrating before they've even scored. But it's just.
That will make such interesting viral videos.
It was just completely irrelevant. There was no need for it.
Just Bournemouth. They scored 3. They still conceded 6, and I feel quite sorry for Eddie Howe. I feel like he's got a very good team there.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem to work.
Going into that game, is it a game that he is reasonably expected to win? I think if they'd have come away with a point there, everyone would have been blowing smoke up Eddie Howe's arse. Really,
you've got to appreciate what he's done with Bournemouth. Yeah. How far he's brought them.
He deserves a lot of credit. It's unfair if he gets.
I do like Eddie Howe.
I really rate Eddie Howe.
He's a little love child. He loves Bournemouth, and he's taken them all the way to the Premier League, and I think that is very commendable.
Yeah.
Just didn't work out on the day, as you say. If you're going away to Everton, getting a point, that'll be very good. But they lost 6-3. So.
Yeah. Just a quick one on Everton as well. Tom Davis has been named PFA's Player of the Month.
Oh.
Which is quite astonishing for a lad that's appeared out of nowhere
and
in the past month.
And has a shocking haircut.
What absolute cat way.
That's the one. But yeah, we've seen in the City game, young lad comes on and dominates the midfield of David Silva, Yaya Toure, Kevin De Bruyne. He's surrounded by these world class players, and he's trotting around, owning the show.
Well done to him on that.
Oh yeah,
very good. Moving on, we've got the Palace and Sunderland game. Palace losing 4-0 at home to a Sunderland side, which
you can't really explain what's going on with Palace. I mean, they have the squad. They have a quality manager now.
I wouldn't say quality.
Big sorry, to be fair, I'm scared.
Have you been bummed? You've been bummed to say that.
Exactly. I wouldn't mess with him.
Palace have such a good squad. Like their starting squad here, they've got Punch and Kabai, Zaha, MacArthur, Benteke, Dan. They've got Van Aanholt as well. And why is it not working for them? The Sunderland scored 3 goals in 5 minutes. How is this? I don't know how this is happening. Defoe is obviously.
Defoe for Sunderland.
The main
it's one of those cases where on paper they have a good side, and for some reason on the pitch, step over the white line, it's just not clicking for them. When you go back to last season, even the season before that, they were giving teams a really tough game at home, and this season to then see a result like this, it's beggars belief, really.
It's
to a Sunderland side that have been really struggling.
It's not as if it's a good Sunderland side. They've a bit of form recently or anything.
How important is Jermaine Defoe to Sunderland?
Incredibly
He
important.
he holds the future of Sunderland, not just the team, the city, in his hands.
Just Sunderland resting
Yeah.
on his shoulders.
I mean, he could be the sole reason they stayed up last season,
Yeah.
along with Big
I'd say
Sam.
so, yeah.
Yes.
Well, that win does put Sunderland equal points on with Crystal Palace.
21 attempts on goal.
Possession isn't everything.
Yeah.
Just
Stats do not win games.
they do not. On to the highlight of my week by far.
Oh yeah.
There was a very little known team that plays in red up in Merseyside playing the Hull squad.
Oh, what's the name of the team?
Yeah.
Everton.
What?
Everton.
No, they play in
no,
blue.
no,
They play in blue.
No.
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Morgan's team Liverpool. They
Was
lost,
it your team, Morgan?
They lost 2-0 to a very, very, very good Hull squad. Talk us through that, Morgan. How do you feel about that?
It's no good, is it, at the moment? We can't seem to do anything the way things are
I
going.
don't know what's happened to Liverpool.
No, we looked so good.
It's just 2017 is just not your
You
year.
have not.
Yeah, when is it there? Yeah.
You have not won a Premier League game in 2017.
Premier League game. Sorry.
Yes.
I'll let you get your
Yeah.
trumpet out for the Plymouth game.
Yeah, to be fair, we did beat.
The
Yeah.
mighty Plymouth.
That is your only win in 2017.
Yeah, that's our only win.
Uh,
I'd like to emphasise that what a good win that was. They were such a good side for them. I think they deserve a lot more credit.
And that turns out to be your only win in 10 games in all competitions.
Well, where do you think it's going wrong?
I do not know. I think
Coutinho's
Coutinho's
not
injury
ready.
hit us at the wrong time, just before Mane was set to go away for AFCON.
Yep.
Mm.
And that didn't help either. But all this about the sole reason being Mane is just nonsense. He's
Yeah,
a good player,
one player.
but he's not the whole team, is he?
Yeah.
Mignolet having maybe a little bit of another shocker. Mignolet or Karius?
Karius by miles
Good old
all
Karius.
day.
Yeah, but
long
he's
time.
still not quite there. Do you agree that he still has some way to, not some way, but a little bit to learn? And
Oh, of course.
Definitely, yeah, he's
You
got
just have to look at De Gea.
loads to
Yeah,
do. The
exactly.
The choice was about him
Yeah.
and Mignolet, and I definitely take him
Yeah.
over Mignolet.
Yeah,
I mean-
we saw with De Gea, as Andy just said, coming into the Premier League as a young kid from a foreign country and
Found it very
struggling in the first 2 seasons arguably, and it took him time, but with De Gea, Fergie stuck with him and gave him the opportunities to play, and obviously they bulked him up quite a lot. I imagine that'll work with. I imagine Klopp will do that with Karius as well.
Yeah, you'd expect so.
Yeah.
The second goal for Hull was scored by an ex-Everton player. Does that rub the salt in the wound even more?
Niassi.
Yes.
Yeah, is it Niassi?
It is Niassi. Does that rub the salt in the wound even?
Especially as he's probably one of the worst ever Everton players. He couldn't even get into their reserve team. He's no good.
And then his head.
And then, yeah, he's just put us away.
It's just lovely.
It is a bit of a turnaround for Hull recently, though, isn't it?
It is.
Since Silver's come in.
The big
Yeah.
night in the
Well, he's
leg.
8 games under Silver, 3 losses, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
1 draw, obviously United, and 4 wins, as we just said. One of those coming against United.
Not got Snodgrass.
Yeah, and arguably lost their best player in the
Yeah.
January window.
And then it seems to be going okay for them.
I think it's amazing that they've brought in Ranocchia from Inter Milan.
Oh,
I mean, how's he convinced him to come
Come
and live
to
in
Hull.
Hull? Come to Hull. We're bottom of the Prem. Come to Hull. Well, we were, but
anything else you want to add to that? Apart from that crushing
No,
defeat?
absolutely not. No.
Okay. Well,
shall we
Please
move on?
move on.
I think we should move on for more
For
for
now.
sake.
Tottenham Middlesbrough. Quite a
Boring.
stale game.
Yeah.
Penalty from Harry Kane.
Not much to say.
Bit of a dead one.
It was a bit of a dead
I
one.
mean,
Uh,
it's just.
I'm looking at the highlights here. In the first half, and what we could say is the highlights was some guy De Roon getting a booking. That is the only thing in the first half they could pick
Oh,
up.
there was one more thing I think actually in the first. I think it was the first
Oh.
half. It's the
Yes.
Victor Valdez has been a bit of a naughty boy.
He has been a bit of a naughty boy, especially to Dele Alli, English treasure to everyone. Why? Well, why did he push him in the face? Twice?
I think it was from a set piece. Ali, I think, was just wanting to sit on him, just to make it a bit difficult for him. But Valdez didn't like it, so I think he gave him a bit of a shove away. And then Ali,
Yeah.
of course, I think the slight lack of maturity. He's still
he's
he
showing
likes
a bit
to
of
wind
petulance.
them up.
He's
He
shown that quite
likes
a
to
lot.
wind them up. So I think he went over, maybe said a couple of words, and obviously Valdez gave him a bit of a poke.
A what for?
Yeah.
This game is obviously 3 points for Tottenham and sends them second, which is only 9 points behind Chelsea.
Only 9.
Only 9. Only 9. But that loss for Middlesbrough puts them in that relegation battle of Leicester, Swansea, Hull, Palace, and Sunderland. And 5 points behind Bournemouth. Middlesbrough seems to be the point where stuff gets a bit sweaty underneath them. Obviously, Kane, very nice penalty.
Yep.
Not much more to say really on.
Yeah, I mean, we won't linger.
I think I mentioned for Patrick Bamford's comment after the game, saying that going back into the dressing room, all the Middlesbrough players were absolutely knackered, and he made a comment that obviously that they'd put in the effort in the game and applauds for that. But he also made a comment saying that the reason they were knackered was because Tottenham just do not give the ball away. Why do you think that
I
is?
think it's Poch's style of play. He did the same at Southampton, did a great job at Southampton. And I think what he's got now, he's got a midfield in a defence that like to sort of control the ball and control the play.
They're
I think
all comfortable on the ball.
Exactly. I mean, it's two central midfielders on Saturday were Victor Wanyama and Moussa Dembele. Both players hard to knock off the ball.
Dembele, it is impossible to take the ball.
Yeah.
Dembele's hugely underrated in the Premier League. He just slips under everybody's radar for some reason.
Could probably walk into most Premier League teams as well at the moment.
Yes. I heard somewhere that the reason you can't get the ball off him is when he was growing up, he played a lot of 4 and 5-a-side indoor football in Belgium. Apparently, that's quite big over there. And over there, in 4 and 5-a-side football, you just got to keep the ball. Get the ball, you win. Get the ball, you win.
It seems to work out very well for him in his career.
Right, next.
Next is Southampton and West Ham game. 3 points for West Ham, a nice 3-1 win against Southampton. Carroll, how are you a football player? How are you scoring that goal against Palace?
How is he on the great form that he's on at the moment?
I think it's
where did this come from?
The lack of Payet.
I agree.
The ego
the
of
Payet
that
factor.
person on the left wings.
It's the Payet effect.
It's where it was Obiang in the middle. Played the ball straight through to Carroll, split in the defence. Carroll goes in and scores. If Payet is there, I feel like Obiang is being told get the ball to Payet.
It'd been shifted out wide.
Yeah, Payet cross it in.
They were playing through one player when he was in the team, and now hopefully we see players like Lanzini, Snodgrass obviously coming in. Carroll obviously taking some of the weight on his shoulders to provide the goals, which obviously they are going to lose goals from Payet. Snodgrass they haven't lost. They're not going to lose a set piece specialist either, because as we've seen Snodgrass at Hull, that boy can ping it in from a dead ball.
Having somebody like Snodgrass coming in for Payet is very nice.
Good move for Jose Font today as well.
A word on the Payet situation. So there was a lot of sort of back and forth between Payet and the club and the fans. A little bit of narkiness.
Sniping at each other.
Who do you think do you think West Ham have a right to feel let down by him, or do you think Payet's done nothing wrong?
A loyalty bonus in the summer, and he leaves 6 months later.
Yeah, there was a comment that they gave him a new deal.
He could have waited it out for the end of the season.
The whole legend banner in the stadium.
And the 3-year-old is just now painted over with Andy Carroll's bicycle. Justice there.
Fair play to West Ham getting him to pay back. I think it's $500,000, wasn't it? 500k. Yeah. I think there should be more. Yeah. Personally, but as I said earlier, I think it's that you've lost that ego out on the left wing. Give the ball to him, he'll cross it in, or get a free kick, he'll take it.
He'll do something. Everyone expecting him to do something with it.
Obviously Southampton, Liverpool's academy.
Gabbiadini, tidy finish to start the game off.
What a player! I really love him from an old career mode I did with AC Milan. That's my only reason behind it. And that goal he scored would just reminded me of it so much. Brilliant, absolutely smashed it.
It's amazing that Napoli.
More bangers.
It's amazing that Napoli let him go. To be honest.
That did surprise me.
Especially after losing Higuain and bringing in Milic, who come from Ajax, obviously the Dutch league. Not familiar with Italian football. coming in, you'd have thought they'd have kept a player like Aberdeen who knows the league inside out, being obviously he is Italian. But yeah, it's surprising that they let him go.
Yeah, I'm quite shocked at that, but that's a great buy for Southampton.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It could become a great buy for Liverpool.
Him and
In
Redmond.
3 years' time, I'm sure it'll be a great buy for Liverpool.
You've got Redmond. Yes.
I was going to say him and Redmond up top.
Yeah, Redmond as well, please.
Moving on, we've got the West Brom and Stoke game. West Brom winning.
Again, a bit of a dead rubber.
Yes.
Yeah.
West Brom winning 1-0. James
Yeah.
Morrison scoring.
It all revolved around Sado Berahino, really, didn't it? Everyone wanted him to start. He'd come on anyway.
He got booted.
Yeah.
That win does put West Brom in 8th position.
Yes, quality.
It is. They are only 4 points behind Everton and only 9 points behind Manchester United. Stoke creeping up as well. They're at 11th. But obviously Peter Crouch, we have to mention.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a bit rusty, bless him.
The robot made an appearance.
Did make an appearance last week, and it was very, very nice.
You can't not love Crouchy, can you?
No, he's great.
He's in the Prem 100 club now.
Yeah.
The robot.
He's a modest guy as well.
Yeah, he's a funny guy as well.
He's a
funny guy.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a footballer.
Nah, he's one of those.
Sometimes he makes you think, but fair play to him. 100 Premier League goals.
He's got great character.
Great character.
Great
Brendan Rodgers
would be very proud.
Yeah.
The next, as I was saying,
the last one.
Dead rubber.
Yeah.
Watford and Burnley. Nice 2-1 win there for Watford against Burnley, but that I think the game is
started on the wrong terms.
exactly.
Really. Jeff Hendrick with a straight red.
That was a horrible, horrible tackle.
Yeah, you can't really argue for the fact he got the red.
I feel like if he hadn't been sent off, then maybe it would have been a very, very close game.
Especially for a Burnley side that with an away form as they do, they really could have done with points here.
They could have. Saying that, Burnley are top 12th, which I think is very commendable.
Pretty safe.
Watford are 10th. It's only a point.
As you've said, I mean, Burnley in 12th on 29 points. They're only 8 points above Middlesbrough 15, who are in that relegation battle on 21. With Burnley's away form the way it is, can you see them dropping into that?
If they don't pick it up, yes, I do see that, and especially if
because
that home form will drop.
Yeah, I was going to say that you can only rely on your home form for so long.
Eventually, last season.
Yeah.
Well,
So maybe Burnley will continue to win for the end of the season and will fall apart next year.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. Like,
are Leicester out of the title race? Mathematically, they're not.
No, I don't think they are they? But I
No,
think Chelsea can only pick up 5 points.
14 games remaining, 3 per game. That's works out 42 points. 42 points would put them on 63 points.
So it can be done.
So-
Chelsea can only afford one more win.
come on.
Lose every other game.
Leicester still probably
And-
got the 5 of them.
And that's not even taking into account Spurs, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United. If you really want to count all those in the top.
Why are we even talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it, to be fair?
Because it's horrible to watch Leicester the way they are this season. It really is.
It's a shame.
I hope they win the Champions League.
Yeah,
Well,
win the Champions League and get
It
relegated.
is like watching
Championship football and Champions League champions, I mean it.
It's like watching the family Labrador die, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you should mention Leicester. We'll move on to the Sunday games now. We'll leave Leicester last. City v Swansea. City scraping a 2-1 win against Swansea.
Yeah, it looked comfortable in the first half for them, didn't it?
It did. Gabriel Jesus, he was going to
Bit of a fan, aren't you, Morgan?
I find him a bit irritating.
Oh, you were a fan yesterday.
More to the point, I don't trust him yet.
You don't trust
Don't
him?
No, I don't trust him yet because he's a skillful, good little Brazilian who scored 2 goals to start off with straight away, and has been quite impressive and has come over.
He's on 3 goals now.
There you go.
He's on 3 goals, 2 assists, I believe.
But
That's a very, very good
I don't trust him. I think a few years down the line, you could be looking at another Anderson kind
He's
of.
getting a lot. He's getting a lot of
Yeah,
or a bit of a Cleberson.
I don't trust him yet. That's
Different
the point
position.
I'd like to make about him.
Who was it that bigged him up as well? Said he'd be the.
Rivaldo, I think it was. Said
Yeah.
he's going to be better than Neymar or something. Which means he's destined to fail now.
Swansea, very commendable performance. Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Oh, what a player.
He is a very, very good player. It's just a shame he isn't at Tottenham.
Yeah,
I feel
I'm guessing
like
you'd have him back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd want him back,
Where would you
but
fit
yeah, that's you'd have to drop either. I think Dele or Christian Eriksen. But I'd want him back. I was a bit upset when we let him go.
Yeah.
But I think maybe for the better for his sort of career, because I think he wasn't gonna sort of last in the squad, and he's gone to Swansea and he's getting Premier League action game week in week out and actually showing the world how good he is.
He's the main man there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really standing out.
Yeah. Just another thing on Gabriel Jesus. I mean, how do you think he'll fare next season when Premier League teams and Premier League defences have not so much sussed him out, but have come accustomed to how he plays and.
It'll be interesting for everyone to see how he plays, really, because I'm not sure what to expect from him now.
I think
Yeah.
he can develop further.
It could be a fluke. I mean, Makeda fluked it when he was a youngster.
Yeah,
as well.
Makeda.
Yeah, but that was towards the end of the season. I mean, this is January. He's
Ober-
still got,
Obertan.
as we said, still got 14 games. left.
Gabriel Obertan.
I hope he's
Not on the same level. I mean, I'd compare his situation to.
But then,
well,
to be fair, you like the first season that Harry Kane came in, one trick pony, one season wonder. Harry Kane next season.
Yeah. I mean, you only have to look at Marcus Rashford at United. Last season, no one could really suss him out. He had a blinder. Obviously, went to the Euros as well. Performed pretty well when he come on there. This season, I mean, do you think teams have
they just know
sussed him out a little bit? Yeah.
I
mean,
think it helps
he's
that he
still
plays
playing.
out on the wing.
Yeah, he's still playing. I mean, Rashford's still playing well, but I think he has been. Teams are adapting themselves to play against a player like Marcus Rashford, but that could possibly happen to Gabriel Jesus next season.
Yeah, could do.
I think it probably will. And is Pep going to have the patience
I think
with
so.
the money that City have?
I think so.
Yeah, he probably will. I think that.
Do you think? I think he'll probably get loaned out to a Premier League club next season.
You think?
Really?
Well, depending on what happens with Aguero.
We've got
I
Ian
mean,
Hatch.
Aguero can be off this summer.
Yeah, I think. Where does that leave Ian Hatch actually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has been blinded every time he's played for them.
I really
I've never seen him had a bad game.
Yeah.
Well, that win puts City on 49 points and only 10 behind Chelsea. Do you think City are still in the title race with 14 games to go?
Yes. Yeah.
You think it's a 3-horse race then?
I think it's a 2-horse. Well, I think it's a 1-horse race.
Well, it is a very much a 1-horse
It's
race.
Chelsea's to play for. I mean, when you look at the teams
It is
there,
Chelsea's to lose.
Tottenham, City, Arsenal, all still with European football. Chelsea have nothing else to play for. Their sole focus is the Premier League, and
The
it is and a 9-point buffer as well. It's literally theirs to lose.
I think if Chelsea start slipping up and Man City start slowly gaining on them.
I can't see it now. I don't think Man City have
You don't think they'll gain?
No, I think they're an aging
I mean,
team. And,
that defence.
Pep's need an ear to
Their
settle in.
defence.
Yeah.
I think in the summer he'll be spending a lot on that defence. I mean, players like Sanya, Clichy, Zabaleta, Kolarov, all over the hill.
His back five, including the goalkeepers, Caballero, Clichy, Kolarov, Stones, and Fernandinho at right back. There's obviously there are problems there for Pep trying to suss out his defence, but having Fernandinho at right back.
I mean, he had Zabaleta on the bench.
Exactly. Is there something he doesn't like about Zabaleta?
Probably his age.
Yeah, as you said, we're aging apart. Kolarov's aging.
But I mean,
I think if they're going to become a title,
you can't build a title challenge on that defence.
Yeah, I think there's gonna have to be some reinforcement.
He'll definitely be spending there.
Moving on to the final game of the weekend, and it was the highlight.
It was a cracker.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Second highlight. Liverpool losing was the highlight. Manchester United winning 3-0 against Leicester. Very good performance again from Manchester United. But
how are we still sixth?
how are we still sixth? And I feel bad on Ranieri. Please smile. I don't want to see him lose.
They've come out and said
just give it a cheeky dilly ding dilly dong.
Yeah.
Show you have some fight left in you.
Just a little sad one. Just let us know that you're still there.
Come on, man.
Manchester United played very, very well. I don't want to be biased here, but
they controlled that game completely.
68% possession.
Vardy didn't have a sniff.
No.
Mahrez didn't have a sniff. Are they missing Kante? Yes.
Yes.
I think
it's the Kante
is
effect. I mean, the statistics for Kante in the games he's played in the Premier League, and I sort of think the statistics for Manchester United, Chelsea, this
I think it was
season.
in the Arsenal game actually as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's that game. He had 14. He committed. He made 14 tackles. Won 14 tackles. The next player after that, I think there was 2 joint, and I think they were on like 5. That's a huge jump.
Massive.
I just feel maybe like obviously Ranieri said when they did win the Premier League, like it was rumours of players going, and he was just saying give them one more season, just see how it goes. I feel like he's missing Kante.
Yeah, well, they tried to replace. I think they knew he was probably going to leave anyway, because I mean, last January they brought in Naples Mendy from Nice, who a very similar player, and for some reason it hasn't worked out for him.
He just isn't Kante, is he? Kante is actually...
he's not, but he's a young player, and he's of the similar mould. I mean, is that a player that they could have probably in the summer said, you are literally, we are going to replace you. Your job is to replace Kante. I mean, they've gone and spent money on Ndidi this January as well.
Yeah.
It seems like they're just throwing money at a problem that they're not actually fixing.
Leicester are, I'd say, within this relegation battle.
Yeah,
definitely. Well in there.
How bad would it be that they are still in the Champions League, but yet they get relegated a season after winning the Premier League?
Yeah.
I feel that that's...
They've done it before. They have done it before.
It's not
just on United though, I mean,
yeah.
United have been slated a lot recently for creating a lot of chances but not converting many, or at least getting them on target. I mean, in this game they had 15 goal attempts, 9 on target.
That's
3 in the back of the net. It's a massive improvement.
Unfortunately, United are getting good again.
Yeah. I mean, is that because we're playing Leicester? I think a failing Leicester
probably does have something to do with it.
Yeah,
but you're on bang on form. Mourinho, I think,
still 15 unbeaten in the league.
Mourinho is beginning to, I think, get that team in shape.
Yeah,
but we're still sick.
But I think
the 3 draws ahead of previous this game.
I think what you've got to appreciate is that it takes time for anybody to come into a new league, whether that be a player or
as we're seeing with Pep.
Yeah, as we've seen with Pep. Yeah. And even if it means Mourinho settling to United and then being able to get his sort of theories, his style of play into that squad, it will obviously take time. And I think now that it's beginning to get in, how long for you to United fans, how long do you reckon you're going to give him or give the team until you get a Premier League title?
I'd say 4.
4 seasons.
4 seasons.
You think
3 or 4?
You think they'll wait 4 seasons before they start again?
I don't think.
No. I think that's 4 seasons before we'll win the Premier League.
Yeah, but I think they'll sack him.
I
don't think they'll sack him before. I think he's a manager with pedigree, and his track record is that he wins trophies. I think he's inherited a team from Moyes and Van Gaal that never really had a direction. It wasn't going anywhere. I think Mourinho will give it that. The players he's brought in the summer, we had a great summer. I mean, Mkhitaryan coming in, obviously. Ibra on a free. Eric Boy, I think, for me, was the sign. Because it gave us a centre-back that we knew he's going to put in performances.
Tall, fast.
Commanding. And the reason I say 4 seasons as well is that you can't just look at us. You've got to look at Chelsea, Arsenal. Liverpool are going to improve under Klopp. City, obviously. City are going to improve under Pep when that team understands how he wants them to play. So, and Spurs, of course, Spurs as well. You can't just look at us.
Let me ask you a question, Jake.
Andy,
2 seasons.
You're saying 2. You have confidence.
I have confidence in Mourinho. It's starting to show now. Hopefully it won't peter off towards the end of the season, but it's starting, as you say, starting to find its form. The gears are starting.
Another factor is obviously, hopefully, if we get Champions League football this season, that's an extra burden that we have next year. That's an extra focus.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be very nice to be back in the Champions League. I know that Jose Mourinho, if he doesn't get the Champions League this year, he will be very, very disappointed, very annoyed and disappointed.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the Premier League rounded up.
I mean, the Premier League lineup.
Few of the big games from around Europe. A huge game
for the weekend.
A huge game in France.
Yeah.
That started it off. Monaco beating Nice 3-0. Both Nice are having a bit of a Leicester season. Mario Balotelli in that team, bit of a talismanic figure. Monaco have come out of nowhere this season. I mean, they had a decent squad. They got some good young players in there.
A good run in the Champions League, finishing top of their group.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the Spurs Monaco game and at Wembley, and Monaco played Spurs off the park.
Yeah, well, I think I was there as well.
Falcao Radamel
I was
Falcao.
just about to say, it's very good to see him getting a couple of goals. Although it didn't work out for him at United, and everyone knows that,
Yeah.
it is very good to see him.
I mean, he's third top goal scorer in the league with 14.
Right. Good for him. So why didn't you do it, United? Why?
But it is nice to see teams challenge
and again,
PSG. It is.
It's heavily dominated by PSG.
Yeah.
Or has been, sorry. PSG are second.
Yeah.
Monaco are 5 points ahead of them.
And look at the goals. Look at the goal difference. I mean, they've conceded 6 more, but they've scored 25 more goals. that is unreal.
Very, very nice.
They've scored 41 at home. I mean, it is a bit of a fortress, their place.
It does seem to be. The other games in La Liga.
Yeah.
Got Barcelona winning again against Bilbao 3-0.
Atletico Madrid winning 2-0.
Yeah. Obviously, Real Madrid have 2 games in hand.
Well, on the Sunday in Spain, their game was actually postponed against Celta Vigo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For I think there was a storm in Vigo. Is it Vigo or is it Celta?
I'm Spanish sure but Real Madrid still having 2 games in hand, but yet still being a point above.
Interesting point on that. Florentino Perez come out and after that game, he was slightly annoyed that the repairs to the stadium weren't done in time, threatening the idea of a European Super League.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
I mean, you'd be happy if you're in it. I mean,
but what about for the smaller?
Yeah, it would kill off a lot of teams, I think.
And imagine the expense for the clubs getting themselves around.
What would it?
Fans.
How would it impact the Champions League?
Well, the Champions League would no longer be able to exist, would it?
Sure.
But this is the idea. The Champions League is a cup competition, whereas the European Super League would be a league competition. So would it just eradicate all domestic football?
Where would you score?
Would that be the start of
it wouldn't eradicate
the end of the world as we know?
I think it'd be the end for the big teams who were to enter into the league, because the fans aren't going to want to go and support them.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fancy.
It's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy.
Big, all money.
You can't. Yeah.
It's not.
Fans are already moaning. Fans are already moaning about ticket prices. Can you really expect them to be paying probably increased ticket prices and then have to travel? And then have to travel. I
don't think it's going to happen. No. I can't see it happening. Moving over to Italy.
Some cracking game.
Notable game, Juve against Inter.
I watched that game. Quadrado.
Quadrado's. I mean, I've got it here. I might have to watch it one more time. Oh, he just leathered it, didn't he? Absolutely leathered it. It's the perfect connection.
He hit that ball quickly out, didn't he?
As AC Milan losing. It's so weird to see.
Just quickly on the Inter game. I mean, Juan Quadrado is on a 2-year loan from Chelsea. I mean, having him back next season for Chelsea, slotted in. I mean, he's definitely an improvement on Moses. I think that'll only make Conte's team stronger.
I'd imagine that Conte he's done well
in
this
the way
season.
he's got the formation Chelsea's playing. I mean, Quadrado in it. Well, obviously he's been at Juventus before. He's played in Italy before. When he's been over there, he has the teams he's been playing and have played a back 3 with wing backs, and he has been a right wing back. That's kind of how he's had Moses playing this season.
I'm more worried about catching Chelsea next season than I am this season already.
Nathan Ake coming back.
Yeah. Gosh.
As well.
Oh gosh.
On this podcast, we've come up with something to close with every week on this podcast, and it's like I say a little joke around, but we are students. All 4 of us are students, and money is tight. But the way to get money is to bet.
Or the way to lose what money you have.
It's a tightrope.
And it's a risk we're willing to take every week. We like to talk through our bets. Maybe we have a couple, but this week we've all got our one bet
for the weekend.
For the weekend coming ahead. Now there's some noticeable games here. We've got Liverpool and Tottenham, and I have backed Liverpool on this. I've also got Man United, Watford, and I know you shouldn't bet on your own team, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm backing United, and then there's Arsenal, Hull, and I feel Hull are going to do them in Emirates. So I've backed Hull on that, and my £4 will no doubt get me a tasty 125.
Any reason for having Liverpool over Spurs?
Liverpool at home, Liverpool are on a bad run, and I think Klopp is going to shove some fireworks up.
And Spurs are on a relatively good run, so obviously they're going to fall.
It's one of those games where everything says Spurs will win, whereas we see it in the Premier League quite regularly, where the tables just get flipped and everybody loses their money because Liverpool will go and smash Spurs probably 3-4-0.
I feel as well that Liverpool, Klopp is just going to be all like he's going to get them riled up before the game. I think I just said now he's going to shove a firework up.
And also, don't forget Spurs have got a few injury problems.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as strong as at the back as they would want to be or should be. So I mean, I can see Liverpool come in on top of it, but on my bet for this weekend, I've put both teams to score in the second half, but for there not to be a draw. That was quite a cheeky little thing.
I think that's
to add to it, and then obviously I've backed Hull as well as you against Arsenal, coming off the back of a good win against month. Liverpool. Yeah, great month.
Good month for them.
And then Arsenal, the loss against Chelsea, I think maybe has made them realise that this title this year is now out of their hands. And they made I don't fancy them, I'll be honest. But then obviously it's the Premier League.
At 17-2. Hull alone as a single is worth some money.
Yes. And then
it's a cheeky quid.
Also, on my bet as well, I've backed Sunderland to beat Southampton. Sunderland off the back of a good 4-0 win. Again, I reckon they'll have that. So then my £2 on that bet will return me 203.
Which is obviously going to come in.
Yes, obviously.
Of course it is.
I'm going for Everton. I want to go with Hull, but I don't think I should because, like we said earlier, everything sort of points to a Hull win, even though you might not expect it to. Which will probably mean it'll end in a draw. And so I'm also going to back Southampton instead of those, and I'm going to back Spurs over Liverpool as well. Because the odds of 12-5 for Spurs to win are too good considering everything.
I'll probably have a single on that.
Yeah.
Having a Liverpool fan there showing his pure confidence in that his Liverpool squad.
Yeah.
Myself, I've gone for a five-fold this Saturday. Everton to beat Middlesbrough, Leeds to beat Cardiff, Scunthorpe to beat Shrewsbury, Luton to beat Crawley, and way down in the conference, Dagenham and Redbridge to beat Southport. £10 returns 203, which, as we know, will definitely
£10 stake.
£10 stake.
Are you a student? Should you be betting £10 a month?
I've had a good week on the old gamble. £10 returns me £203.66. Just as an insurance barrier, I've also bet on the fact that I'll get 4 out of 5. So, as we always know with an ACCA, someone always lets you down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so,
be the one,
just on the fourfold, £10 returns me 112.
That's not bad. That is not bad
so,
at all.
Fingers crossed.
I feel that concludes the first week.
That's the first episode done.
This is the first episode.
I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it as well.
Thank you guys for coming along.
I'd like to leave everybody with a little teaser.
Go on then.
A little teaser. I think we should make it a weekly thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this little teaser. Anybody can play along. Tweet us.
If you know the answer, tweet us.
But here we go.
No prizes though.
No.
12 stadiums have hosted Premier League football which have park in their name. Name all of them.
Upton Park.
We've got Upton Park.
Is it this season or
ever? No, in total it's 12
Selhurst Park,
stadiums have hosted.
Selhurst Park, Ewood Park. Upton Park.
It's difficult, isn't it? It is difficult.
Fratton Park.
Yeah.
Fratton Park. How many have we named now? Is that 5?
That's 4.
Oh, for God's sake. Really expressing.
But yeah, anyway, we'll leave it with you.
Yes.
We got 4. See if you can beat us.
You probably can.
You should be.
Put us a bit on the spot there, Jake.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
As always, follow our Twitter. Our handle is @TOT Terrace. If you feel you can do better than 4, which I hope you can, do let us know, and don't forget to vote on the options of the all-time 11s. Always vote mine because mine is definitely the best because it's got the most United players in it. And thank you for listening.
Yeah,
we'll be back next week.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
See you later.
Going out tonight.